Hey David, it's Chris from Faith Elements, and can I just say, wow, what a great thing to wrestle over. You know, we're dealing with three issues here. Oh, wait a minute, before I get started, I like your Barney Fife poster, really cool. We have three things we're dealing with here. We're dealing with war and warmongering and going to war and advocating war, and we're dealing with abortion, and we're dealing with capital punishment. Those are our three issues we're dealing with, not six. We're dealing with three. I'm not going to really address too much war because that's a tricky one, and I think there has to be a whole other video to go along with that one because you have offensive war and defensive war, and you have all these confusing political, socioeconomic things that go into that. So I'm going to leave that one alone for now. But I do want to, what got me all fired up is the abortion and capital punishment. I have long been anti-abortion, and in the words of Ronald Reagan, those who are for abortion have never experienced one themselves, or never. I don't know if I got that quote right, but they've never been on the receiving end of an abortion. So that is life to me. Argue with that if you will. Anybody, you can reply to that. I'm not going to get into that argument with you, but to me it is life. I remember the first time I'm spitting on myself. I'm so crazy about it, but I remember the first time that we went to the doctor when my wife was pregnant with our first son. The first thing they listened for was that heartbeat. It was life, and we couldn't even see it. She hadn't changed physically, but we could hear this heartbeat inside of her. And I'm telling you, that was life-changing, and I think it was that impact of life. Like I said, there are many people that will want to argue with that with me, and that's fine. We all have our stances on that. But I'm going to move on to the capital punishment thing. No way, shape, or form, in my mind, can you be anti-abortion and pro-death penalty. Now, I fully realize that people who are on death row have committed crimes with the full knowledge that the price of their crime could be their own life. If you go into the act of killing somebody, nobody struts down the road and says, I'm going to kill that guy out in public. No, everybody does it in secret. They try to hide their crime. Naturally, because everybody knows it's wrong. It's wrong to do that. So you don't see people just going up in front of people and just killing people. Because we know it's wrong, and we know the penalties of killing somebody is probably going to be our own life. But I got to tell you, there's a part of me that just cannot agree with capital punishment at any level. We want to cry for justice, and there's so many of us that think, justice, that would be justice, when we really don't even know the meaning of the word justice. Because God has given us so much grace that we are given every day that we have no clue what justice even really looks like. And does killing a person who has killed somebody, is that justice? And the one thing I get hung up in my head, there's got to be that one person that squeezes the plunger or switches the trigger or whatever causes someone else's life to be ended in an executioner's chair and with a lethal injection or gas or whatever. I don't even know if gas is even used anymore. But anyway, you get my point. There is somebody else involved in that person's death. And I wonder, how does that work out? With that person, I realize they're only doing a duty that they have been charged to do, but man, that's tough. How do you end someone else's life and feel okay with that? But the long and the short of it, here's where I get God into the mix on this. If it takes a person 75 years to realize what they've done and ask Jesus to forgive them, I think that is a price worth paid in holding that person in a jail cell and spending time reflecting. I think in eternity, if we pay 35 years extra for somebody to spend in a jail cell rather than executing them, in eternity, isn't it worth it if that person comes to know Jesus? I personally think it is. That's money well spent in my mind. I know there are people that are going to disagree with that, but to me, life is precious. Even if that person has done something incredibly heinous, even if that person has killed multiple people, that life is still precious in God's view. Now, this is where we get all hung up, and people are going to disagree with us that if they don't agree with God's philosophy on that and the way God sees us and eternity and all those things that get wrapped up in it, they're not going to see things from that point of view. But there's my 2 cents. I hope it didn't just steal a few minutes from our life that you won't get back. Hey, thanks for the great question, and thanks for asking for replies, and thanks for watching to the end of this video, because I just rambled on for a really long time. Hey, you can check out my channel too, Faith Elements, a little shameless plug, and you can subscribe above and let me know, or David know, what you think of this video, either in reply to his original video or down below this one. Thanks for watching.